Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a Christmas look, and I decided that I wanted to do a 12 days of Christmas and do 12, hello. To do 7, I wanted to do 12 days of Christmas looks, festive looks, holiday looks, anything like that, ranging from very colorful, very crazy, very Christmassy, festive, creative, and also natural. If you want to see how I got this first look to 12 days of Christmas, be sure to keep watching. Okay, so I already did one eye, so now we're going to do the other. We're going to be using the James Charles palette, just because I felt like there were some colors in here that I want to use. And we're also going to be using, where did it go? Anywho, let's get started. So we're just going to go into this palette here, and I'm going to mix these two colors here, just so that way it's not too dark, because I don't want to create too much of a transition shade on my eyelid, to kind of make like the green and the brown kind of mud together and just become a big mess. So I'm just gonna use both of these to kind of do something a little bit in between and just kind of create a little bit of a transition, but not too much of a transition, if that makes sense. And it's very light, you could barely see it. So after we're done with the transition shade, we're just going to start with the green. And I'm going to take this Morphe brush. It doesn't have a number on it, but it's got like, it's kind of dirty, but it's got kind of like a flat-ish puffy way. I don't know how to describe that. And I'm going to dip it into this darker green right here. And I'm just going to put it in there a couple of times. I'm not going to tap it off. Okay. And I'm just going to pack that in right here, just to give a lot of pigment in this area. Don't start putting it all the way over here, all over the place. Just start with the inner corner first, so that way it doesn't become a big mess, because it's kind of like a green smoky eye, but to control that smokiness from being a little too much, just kind of do a little bit at a time, so that way it doesn't become a big, huge mess. I'm not gonna dip back into anything. I'm just gonna use the leftover of what's already on my brush and barely lay your brush on your skin, on your eyelid, so that way whatever's left over on the brush, it's kind of slowly starting to blend out a little bit without having to use like a big fluffy blending brush that'll kind of create mess everywhere. And you don't want to blend over here on what you already packed on, because then it's just gonna lighten, become a mess, it can become blotchy, all that stuff. So don't touch this at all, because once you packed it on there, it's staying there. And when you're packing it on, what I like to do is just basically kind of pat but kind of drag at the same time, so that way it kind of pushes that color into the skin and it kind of stays there, because sometimes if you pack something on, it could be loose and it could fall onto like your under eye right here, and we don't want that to happen. But kind of pack and do a slight drag just to kind of press it into the skin. And I used concealer. I always use concealer to prep my eyelids. So I just took my fluffy blending brush now, and I'm just starting to slowly blend out a little bit more. And if you want to, you can go back in with this color that we added, the transition color, and just put whatever's left over. Not too much, because like I said, I don't want it to get muddy and look like a hot mess. And I'm just gonna go back and forth and do windshield wiper motions to kind of blend that out a little bit. And I'm gonna go back into the green and start packing again to kind of bring that darkness and dimension a little bit more outwards from the V of my outer corner. And then I'm going to slightly take what's left over without dipping back in after packing that color on the outside again. And just kind of slowly start to bring it inwards. Boom. And then I'm just gonna go in with my blending brush and just lightly go over the edges. And then there is that. I like to kind of take this flat brush, and just kind of like go outwards like this, like if I'm creating like that swoop motion, or would you call it a swoop motion? Swoop motion, oh my gosh, swoop motion. I don't know, I just want to kind of give like that dimension or that shape to my eye to kind of make it look like this. So I'm just gonna go and kind of do that a little bit so that way I don't lose the shape of this eyeshadow. I'm going to take my Tarte Shape tape, and this is in the shade Fair Light Neutral 16N, and I'm just gonna take that as well as like a flat concealer brush. And I'm just going to take this out, and I'm just going to take a little bit off of this. And you might think like, oh my gosh, a cut crease, how intimidating. I know, but it's not intimidating. It's very easy, because what works for me, and I used to think all the time like, oh my gosh, I can't do a cut crease. I don't know how to like shape my eye, like freestyle, freehand, whatever. But, and then also that too, I have hooded eyelids. So see this glitter on this eye, if I would have done it in the crease like a normal person would without hooded eyelids, then you wouldn't be able to see it, but you're able to see it because of how I created the shape to go a little higher. So in order to do that the easy way, just kind of line the bottom of your eyelid along the lash line with as much as concealer without getting too ham on it, because you don't want to have too much concealer on it to where it starts getting into your eyelashes and creates a huge mess. So you just want a little bit right there, and you want to look up, look to the right, left, whatever side, and oh, I need more. See, you'll need more to actually create it, but you kind of see where I'm going here, right? So see how it kind of created that shape? It is a little janky, but you can clean it up. Now that we're done carving all of that out, you want to make sure the whole surface is basically the same. You don't want splotches of concealer, because then if you put an eyeshadow down on that concealer, which it'll take really pretty, and I love putting like colors directly onto wet concealer because it like grabs that pigment and it like shows it more. But I'm going to be using glitter. If you don't want to use glitter, you could totally go in with a shimmery like golden shade. You could do like a red shade, you could do something like white, you can do even a lighter green shimmer shade. You can do anything that you want, but I'm going to be doing glitter because it's the holidays, and who doesn't like glitter? Then I'm going to be taking this Alamar palette, and I'm just going to be taking this shade. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to be taking this shade right here. It's kind of like a greenish emerald shimmer, if that makes sense, and it has a little bit of a blue pigment to it as well. So I'm just going to put this on the bottom where I put that concealer, just because, or I'm not going to put some on the bottom. I'm going to put this over top of the concealer just because I want this color to kind of come through a little bit of the glitter, so that way it has that green effect, and it's not like green and gold or green and, you know, whatever glitter color you decide to use. It kind of flows together, if that makes sense. I swear, sometimes I explain things and I think it makes perfect sense in my head, And then when it comes out my mouth, I'm like, So I'm just gonna pack that in, and it's basically just kind of setting everything. And I know, don't come for me because I'm pulling my eyelid, but I am, just so that way I can make sure to get all the creases set with this eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna kind of slightly blend it a little bit. I'm not gonna worry too much about blending on the meeting of this green and this cut crease area right here, because I'm gonna be putting glitter on it anyways. So next thing we're gonna be going in with is CoverGirl Exhibitionist liquid mask or liquid eyeshadow. Does it say what shade it is? It doesn't say what shade it is. What the hell? So we're just gonna take a little bit. We're not gonna take too much on the brush because you don't want to take too much. You wanna do a little bit at a time just because it can dry a little fast. And you want to be able to kind of blend it a little bit and not be clumpy. And when you're putting it on, put it down and swipe it because it can get very clumpy very fast because it can dry. It moves great and blends out great when you're working with it fast, but if it starts to dry or you don't use enough on your brush, it can get sticky and start sticking to the skin or the eyelid and not really do what you want it to. And you can like make patting motions to kind of make it a little thicker, which I'm going to do. I like to drag it more on the outsides just to kind of blend from that transition of the cut crease into the outer corner of my eye, just because I want the glitter to be a little thick, just to kind of make it look like, you know, she's thick. And slightly, without putting any more glitter, just slightly start going over and bringing the glitter over. See, now it's kind of, okay, now it doesn't want to focus on me. Was it unfocused the whole time? There we go. So then now the glitter is just kind of coming out a little bit and blending that, and it's glitter, so it's gonna blend regardless. So don't try to like crease your eye too much just because it's gonna be a little wet. And just kind of let it dry. While that's drying, I'm going to take this same flat brush again, go back into that green that we've been using, and I'm just going to start packing that back into this corner right here, just because it got a little out of hand on this outside with adding all the stuff and just kind of messing around with this area. We're just going to kind of go a little bit like this. So there's that, and then I'm going to take a pencil brush, and I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to dip it back into that green, and I'm going to go right here and kind of sharpen up around that crease that we cut. Why is it not focusing? Then we're going to go in with this sharp edge brush, go in with the sharp edge brush, and I'm going to dip it back into that same green, and I'm just going to put it on the very bottom of my eyelash line around right here in this area, and just kind of smoke everything out. And then I'm going to take the pencil brush and I'm just going to kind of blend it out. And I'm just putting a little bit more of the green on this, not too much, just because I don't want this to be too much of a smoky on the bottom. I kind of want like everything to be up, you know what I'm saying? Okay, now are we done with the eyeshadow? Almost. Okay, we're done. So, kind of. So now that we're done with the eyeshadow, I'm just gonna go in and I'm just going to do a wing eyeliner. You could do wing eyeliner if you want to. You could do just a little bit. You could just leave it like this and pop some lashes on. But I'm gonna be doing a wing eyeliner just because I feel like we have glitter. Why are we not gonna put a wing eyeliner?
Then next I'm going to be taking these two shades in the James Charles palette and mixing them together to use them as a highlighter to highlight the high points of my face. And then I'm going to be taking Kat Von D's Bow and Arrow liquid lipstick and topping it with a lip gloss to finish off this look.
This is the first look of the 12 days of Christmas makeup, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas or color schemes that you want me to use, because I know red and green can get kind of, you know, repetitive, which I'm not going to only just stick to red and green for these 12 days of makeup. So sorry for this whole like background change kind of thing. I'm at work now, but I was in a hurry to leave the house this morning and get the kids to school and get to work on time. I forgot to film an intro and an outro, so that's what I'm doing now. That's why it's a little bit different. Tomorrow will be a little bit more different because I'm gonna remember to do that, just because I was digging my background. What do you guys think, you know? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification so you are notified for every time that I upload. And if you don't want to miss the 12 days of Christmas looks, be sure you do hit that bell notification and mark it to all, so that way you'll get kind of like a text message type of notification to your phone when I upload, so you can see what's going on, because I know you guys have some events and Christmas parties coming up. Don't you want to be like a bad Well, anyways, Merry Christmas, you guys. Enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you next time.